I'm Sarah Whale. The church I worship at is St Andrew's Church in Ingleby Greenhow. We're part of a benefice of 4 churches and I'm a recognised parish assistant for those 4 churches. My main focus is with children's ministry, with children and youth, and for a long time I've been doing work with our Sunday school across the benefice. And the recognised parish assistant course came up and I thought along with my vicar, I thought that it fitted with some training needs that we'd identified for me in carrying on that children's ministry. And there are things that I've done. I did the worship module, and that means that it's given me more confidence in leading services and, you know, developing family-friendly services across the benefice. The course lasted 16 weeks in all, so every Thursday evening it'd be found in North Ormsby, and it was split into 2 parts. So there was a foundation course which everybody attended for 8 weeks, and then we split up into our groups. A lot of people went on to do pastoral care. I did actually want to do mission, but there weren't enough of us going to do that, so we decided to do worship instead. Yeah. I think it's important to get a wider perspective from not just working with the vicar in the parish or just your church wardens, you know, or any readers in the deanery. It's nice to be able to go and experience that training together with a body of people who have similar ideas and experiences, and to go and share and find out more together. I think it's just given me a bit more confidence in doing what I do, and, you know, perhaps people do listen a bit more to what I've got to say. They think, oh, Sarah's done a course, she must know what she's talking about. But it's just nice to have that grounding of the training, really.
I'm Tracy Netherton and I'm Church Warden and Treasurer for All Saints Burstwick. It's the most gorgeous 12th century church. The roof is constantly a concern and constantly needs looking at, as I'm sure most church roofs do. So yes, it is quite a challenge. Okay. It's not one of the wealthiest areas. There are 1 or 2 people who have moved here who have their own businesses, but in general everybody's struggling, the same as everybody across the country. There's been quite a lot of the larger firms in the Hull area that have closed down over the last few years, and of course as a commuter village a lot of the people who worked here used to work there, so it has become a lot more difficult for everybody. The Beer Festival was a spin-off from our summer fair. We have been trying as a PCC for years to come up with the formula, and we've found that it fluctuates. What works one year to get people out doesn't work the next year, and we can never get that formula. Well, we couldn't hold it in our church because we don't have toilet facilities, so again the institute came into use. And we did the same thing. We had a Friday evening, then we had all Saturday afternoon and evening. We had children in the afternoon again, and fun and games for them. Kept them entertained while mums, dads chatted and met. It was wonderful. It was absolutely wonderful. We made a small profit from the bar takings, but we didn't push sales in any other way. We wanted people to come out and enjoy themselves, and that's the formula. Something that's fun, not always pushing money, but in a roundabout way, that's when it comes in. Quite a lot of that went to pay our quota as much as we could last year. We knew that at the beginning of the year, this was before we'd had all these wonderful ideas, it probably wasn't going to go that well. But then, with these ideas coming forward, and we were so close, and we managed to get a top-up last year from Deanery Fund, and we were so close to paying our quota. Even though we try really hard to meet our quota, in my time as treasurer, I think we've only met it twice. And it has always been a worry, and especially at the beginning of the year when there's not that much fundraising going on, what are we going to do? So when this idea came out, initially, big relief, pressure gone. But then we decided, well, we've got to be serious about this. We can't just say, we'll just give a little bit, because that's just not on. It's not what Christians are about. So we decided, whatever we were able to pay last year, that's a given. That would definitely be the minimum for this year. And then we decided we'd aim for an extra 10% on top. Now, that decision was actually taken before all our fundraising happened, so we did actually beat that well and truly last year. So our intention this year, we offered last year plus 10%, and hopefully we'll get that bit further. So we're planning on extending this year. We already have a cider festival planned for May. We have a summer festival in July and a beer festival in September.
I'm Rachel Harrison and I'm the Vicar of St Peter's Church in Redcar. I came to St Peter's Church just almost 2 years ago now, and when I came I was a bit surprised to find that the finances weren't in quite such a good order as I might have expected. I knew that we'd got to address the finances before we could really look to going out into the community in a new and fresh way. We found it a challenge to meet the demands of the parish share. And over the past years, over some 4 or 5 years, that contribution has only been met by taking money which had been given to the church as a bequest, which hopefully would have helped towards the church building and what we did, but actually was used for our housekeeping. And so it was a burden. There's no getting away from that. When we heard about the Freewill Offering and we understood about it, it was like having a burden taken from our shoulders. It really was. We know that we have to be responsible still. It's not as though we're going to get a year's free or anything like that. We know that we want to be a part of that generous giving. But we adapted our ways, and we really feel that we've had that burden taken from us. Well, we looked very closely and continue to look at places where we can save money. We were looking for the places we might not be such good stewards. We've managed to find lots of savings. We have electricity, which costs us less. We have a telephone that costs us less. And all those sort of things we've looked really closely at. Because we haven't got that, what felt like a demand. We've still got our target. We're still going to, I hope not struggle, but we're going to be very, very challenged by what we've offered. And it's not going to be easy to meet that, but it's easier because we've set our own target. And so it doesn't feel as though we've got them in York looking down on us and waiting for us to cough up. We've also tried to adopt a system of generous giving within our church. People are very generous, but with things like when we have a coffee morning, which is to support a charity, we're hoping that people will give us a generous donation. We don't ask for a rent, we ask for a generous donation. So we're trying to use that whole feeling of generous giving in every area of our financial work within the church. But we're hoping that will be an achievable amount for us, and that when we do come to the end of this year of finances, we will be really joyful and thanking God that we've been able to make steps in that direction.